Hi everyone, and welcome to another edition of Smoke Signals. I'm Matt Montgomery along with head football coach Wayne Coleman. Well, if District 17 5A is going to be anything like the first week for the rest of the season, it is going to be one wild district race. And Coach, obviously the loss in overtime to Corsicana, 41-38, tough loss. Before we talk about the game, and what are your overall impressions of the game?
I felt like our kids gave great effort, left everything on the field. Just one of the cases where you had two evenly matched teams, and Corsicana made one more play than we did.
You told me before kickoff when we were talking about the comparison of the two teams, and you said you felt like a very even matchup, and boy, you could not have called it any closer.
Yeah, we felt like that we had a plan to where we were going to throw the ball a little bit more against them. We knew they were going to overload the run, and they did a good job of game planning against us. They started using some new guys on the offense and their offensive game plan, which proved well for them.
Coach, one of the other things that you had told us before district play was how evenly matched you thought the district was, and boy, the first week did that not prove true. All three games decided in the fourth quarter, obviously, an overtime for Jacksonville and Corsicana, but Whitehouse was leading Ennis all the way the whole game until Ennis scored in the last 40 seconds to beat Whitehouse, and Lindale was leading Nacogdoches. Nacogdoches scored 17 points in the fourth quarter to come back and beat Lindale. So you're exactly right again, how evenly matched this district really is.
It is. There's not going to be very many blowouts in this district schedule. These teams are evenly matched. Jacksonville and Whitehouse, we were on the lower half of the standings last year, but we've had great off seasons. And you can tell that both of our squads have improved greatly.
So you carry a 21-14 lead into the half against Corsicana, and your offense was really moving the ball well. And defense kind of bent a few times but didn't break. But you got 3 turnovers on Corsicana, all 3 fumbles, and I know that really had a lot to do with setting up your offense to get those 3 scores in the first half.
It did, and it's the first time this year really that we have taken advantage of turnovers against somebody. And the turnovers were a big part in the game. They were the reason that we had the lead at halftime.
One of the more unusual statistics that I saw that really jumped out at me was the number of plays. Obviously, the more shots that you can take, the better your chances of winning. Jacksonville ran 71 plays. Corsicana ran 49. So 22 more plays for Jacksonville, but the difference is, and you said it, they had some big plays.
Yeah, we possessed the ball decently, sustained some drives. But they were mostly a big play team Friday night.
And they hit the big pass plays, particularly in the fourth quarter. Passing game really effective the other night for you, and of course you had the option pass for a touchdown from Jay Bush. That was a great one to pull out at the time right before the half. But Cam High, 12 out of 20, 113 yards through a couple of touchdown passes. He ran for 132. You had a lot more balance this week in your running and passing game.
Yeah, you're going to have to be that way going forward throughout this district schedule. The teams you're going to play some quality teams that they're going to load up on your run game. So we're going to have to maintain that balance if we want to have a chance.
Defensively, I know that it was trying just to keep up with Keyshawn Kelly and where he was on the field, but their sophomore quarterback, the Hoffman kid, played really well. Defensively, though, I thought some kids really, like Scooter Baker, I want to highlight him. I think he had like 13 tackles, really a lot. He was a very disruptive force a lot of times for you defensively. And of course, the sophomore Thompson did great for you too as well.
Yeah, it's good to have Scooter back. He missed the first 3 or 4 games with the back injury. So we've got him back in there. He's helping us a lot on defense. Probably the worst thing that could have happened to us was to have the open week, because it gave them an extra week of prep time to, design schemes for Keyshawn Kelly to play in different positions and get him the ball. And then the Denbo kid that had been playing mostly safety, number 15, they got him the ball a lot on offense, which there was no way we could have been prepared for that. So they did a good job getting ready in their open week.
Yeah, we'll look at some of the highlights in a minute, but you told me, you said you wanted to give Corsicana credit for what those 2 touchdown passes in the fourth quarter. A lot of people were talking about we had a breakdown in coverage and guys weren't in position, but really, Coach, it was really more or less they just made some good play calls with a couple of those hiding the guy back there
Sure.
and just didn't pick him up.
Yeah, you prepare for what teams do, and there's not a trick play in the world that hasn't been successful. So they were able to save theirs and pull them out in the fourth quarter on us, and kudos to them. We shot some of ours in the first half to get a lead, and that's why we had the lead going into the fourth quarter. So, like I said earlier, they made one more play than we did.
Jacksonville takes it on the chin in overtime, 41-38. Let's take a look now at some of the highlights. Here's a little pop pass here, just didn't get the tackle, and the guy scoots in.
Yeah, that's just bad tackling on our part, and we've got to make that play.
I believe this is Cam High's 24-yard touchdown run right here, and really goes north and south really well at the end of the play. Look at the blocks downfield by your receivers.
Yeah, it was a great job by Cam. They crashed the defensive end on the play side, and he pulled it back and went backside.
Here's a big play by Scooter Baker, who we just talked about a moment ago. Look at that.
Yeah, Scooter had several tackles for loss the other night.
Little toss pitch here, and they kind of dipsy-doodled us a little bit right here, but watch this play here, though.
Yep.
Just took it from him.
Well, halfback pass, and Jay-Sean makes the strip, and we get a big play out of it.
Well, that was just took the ball and lost his helmet at the end of the play. Great play by that junior, Jay-Sean Bush. Tough pick right there.
Yeah, that's a bad play call by us. We put Cam in a bad situation there.
Yeah, that's your only turnover of the night, though, but right here, another play in the backfield. Nice.
We had several plays behind the line of scrimmage.
Cam with a nice bullet right there to Jay-Sean Bush, 30-yard touchdown pass. Very nice. Here's right before the half, and this really sent the momentum your way going into the half.
It did, and felt good. We've been saving that play and came out the third quarter and made some plays also.
Bush flipped it out there very nicely.
Got a tackle.
Yeah.
It's number 15 again. They had been playing him only on defense. They switched him to offense for our game. He had a good night.
Yeah, he did. There's Kelly. Sean Kelly, the 3-year starter, fumbles the ball, and you get the turnover, one of 3 fumbles that you recovered, or that you took away anyway. And here's Cam finding D. Spencer. I guess I call that the little rail route. I don't know if that's what it is.
Yeah, that's a little rail out of the backfield. Those are the plays we couldn't make last year. We would have those plays and just couldn't get them executed. Another play by Scooter there.
Yeah. Good tackling by Scooter Baker. And here's one of the plays that give him credit. Good call by Corsicana.
This is one of those ones they were saving for us. When you play a lot of man coverage, sometimes you can hide a tight end out and get him open. But once again, 15 had a big night for him.
Yeah, Denbo, he did it.
Yeah, there was no way to scout and prepare for that.
And this is a play right here that, again, this is why you don't quit. You keep going. The play's not over. And Jay-Sean Bush, another strip, fumble, recovery, picks it up. Another turnover.
Jay-Sean had a big night on turnovers.
Really did. And here's Cesar Guerrero in overtime, just nailing it. Coach, that would have been good from 50. I mean, it was a 40-yarder, but
yeah, it was a nice kick. Very impressed with that kick.
And here's the game-winning touchdown. Corsicana in overtime puts it in the end zone, and they get the win. And tough loss, Coach, but I think you sent a message around the district that this is going to be that kind of a district. Like you said, there's not going to be any blowout wins, and you didn't get the win. Now you go to Whitehouse next week. How's the mood of the team this week after such a tough loss?
Saturday was pretty rough. It takes a little while to get over that, but by the time we come back to work, the kids showed back up Monday. We were ready to roll, and I told the kids, who else would you rather play after a tough loss than Whitehouse?
Yeah,
somebody to get you going. And our kids and their kids, they love playing each other, and it's good rivalry. And we'll be ready to go Friday.
And it's a Whitehouse team that's coming in with feeling the burn, the disappointment that you felt. I mean, they had a lead, 21-3, I believe it was, over Ennis for a while, and Ennis comes back and scores with 40 seconds to go in the ball game and gets the win, 24-21. No, that was a gut-wrenching loss for Whitehouse. And so you're heading over there to Wildcat Stadium this week. Talk about the Wildcats. What do they do well?
Boy, they spread it out and throw the ball. They really like to throw the ball around. They've had some kids injured. They're going to get one of their starting running backs back this week. So we haven't seen him very much, but he's very explosive, so that'll add something to their running game. And their defense has made a tremendous improvement this year. They've been playing really well on defense also.
Yeah, they changed defensive coordinators from last year, and boy, has it made a difference. They obviously something changed because they were giving up 38, 40 points a game last year. Now it's like 14, 15 points. Of course, 24 last week to Ennis. But one of the key people they got back was Tanner Roach. He was out maybe a couple of games with the quarterback. He's back, and he's very effective.
Yeah, they've had several kids banged up, but they have managed to get 4 wins, and very impressed with some of the kids that came in, stepped in for them, and helped them keep going.
So what kind of defense does Whitehouse run? Who are they compared to? So our viewers are saying, okay, Whitehouse is like who defensively?
They're a 4-2-5, a lot like Hallsville was. A little more athletic than Hallsville was. Hallsville is struggling a little bit this year, but Whitehouse has got a big inside linebacker, number 5. He can run and hit. They've got a safety, number 2, really fast kid that can cover, and he's not afraid to hit. They've got some kids on defense that can make some plays. And then on offense, my gosh, Tanner Roach is doing a great job of throwing the football. And they've got another Cantrell at receiver. They've got 3 wideouts. They have
another Parker at receiver.
Exactly. Yeah. They've got 3 or 4 kids that they'll throw the football to, so they're going to be tough to stop.
So going into the ball game, and we say it every week, I mean, and it really showed last week. I thought Corsicana took the edge away from Cameron High. He still had 132 yards rushing, but they did take away the edge, and you were successful throwing the football. DeMontre caught 3 balls. You were able to get the ball out, and you kind of spread them out. Do you see having to do that against Whitehouse more this week?
Yeah, there's no doubt. We had 7 or 8 different kids touch the football last Friday night, and that's what we've got to do, find a way to stay more balanced so they can't just load up on one part of the game. And we were very close to making that successful game plan Friday, and we've got to keep doing that.
Coach, there's probably not a team that you've played yet where you say keep the ball away from them applies more than Whitehouse. Yep. And last week you ran so many plays compared to Corsicana. And do you feel like that's going to be something that really is going to be one of the keys to the game this week is controlling the football?
Well, what it does is they run an up-tempo offense. They get their plays off very fast, and that has a tendency to tire your defense down. And if they can get a couple first downs with that up-tempo, now you've got tired kids out there on the field. And you want to make sure when you've got the ball on offense that you have a nice, steady, sustained drive and eat some of the clock and give your defensive kids time to rest.
And that's one of the challenges I think Whitehouse also brings to the table is you guys do a lot of personnel movement. I mean, there's a lot of guys coming in and out of the ball game. How's that going to change that? Because, I mean, they're running plays like that. I mean, it's going to be hard to get guys on and off the field.
It is, and we're going to have to be real creative about our substitutions because they'll try to keep the same 11 guys on the field for you, and we've got to do a good job of hustling on and off the field.
So every week I ask you, what are the keys to the game? We've kind of covered them a little bit, but if I've missed any, what are some other keys that you can think of that your team needs to do to get this win?
Yeah, I think, because we lost the game last week, you lose sight of how important the turnovers were. The turnovers are what kept us in the game. Those are the things that gave us a chance to win. We won the turnover battle last week, and you've got to keep doing that. That's going to be, very important in the winner of this game. It was also important in their game because early in the game, Ennis was turning the ball over against Whitehouse, and in the end, that kept Ennis in the game, and Whitehouse had a chance to win. But when Whitehouse intercepted the pass to win the game, they turned the ball over.
They Jay-Sean Bushed them. They stole it.
Exactly right. So. I know everybody gets tired of hearing that, how important turnovers are, but they really are. You cannot give away possessions.
Coach, football is such an emotional sport. And one thing I've noticed about your team this year is not that they lack emotion, it seems like it's a more mature team. They have more controlled emotions. For example, like when they can get down, they don't. They level out. And I know that that's something that you guys worked on a lot in the spring, and keeping your emotions in check. Don't get too down if something bad happens, okay? And this seems to be a more mature football team is what I'm saying.
They are, for sure. It's a product of, boot camp where you're working the kids hard and everyone's yelling and they've got to maintain their composure. It's just a product of practicing with the intensity that you need to practice with, so that the game is a little slower than what it used to be. And the more you can put them in tough situations in practice, then the better they'll perform on Friday night. One
last thing, Coach, and we'll close, but 5 district ball games, so different than the past when Jacksonville has been that 8-team district where you have 7 district games each week. And now that you're past week 1, you start to feel the closing down of, is there any sense of urgency at this point with just 4 games remaining?
What you've got to do is not worry about that and just keep your eye on the process and the next play and the execution and making the play, causing the turnover, and in the end, at the end, everybody counts up the wins and losses. That'll take care of itself. And if you start worrying about, well, we got to win 2 games to make the playoffs, and if we win this one, we got one. You start thinking about that stuff, then you're spending time trying to control stuff that you have no control over. When you can control turnover drills in practice, you can control 2-minute drill in practice, 3rd down situations in practice. You got to keep your eyes on those kind of things.
Well said, Coach. That's a good one to end it on. So Jacksonville heads to Whitehouse for district game number 2, and we'll be on the air at 7 o'clock on 103.9 FM. You can see the website address if you want to listen online to the game, as we will be heading to Whitehouse, Jacksonville, to play the Wildcats. For head coach Wayne Coleman, I'm Matt Montgomery. We'll see you next time right here on Smoke Signals.